Hi guys, it's Ed here with another JCC video. Now we're going to be looking at possibly the most complicated word in wildlife gardening, and that is a hibernaculum. So back here, this mound of stuff behind me is in fact not just a rockery, it is a hibernaculum. Now, don't confuse it with this. This is just a water feature that we put in. We chose to do a water feature like this as a side point rather than have it connected to the pond, because that's better for it operating as a wildlife pond, not having little things, little baby creatures and stuff getting sucked up into the filters. So we have that as a side point. This is just kind of decoration on the outside. Anyway, so hibernaculum, what it is a place for frogs, newts, toads, possibly some reptiles as well, so amphibians and reptiles, to go and hibernate, to go and spend time when, now like today, it's super cold, frozen on the pond, and they can go down in there into the hibernaculum and spend their time over the winter and keep it a more constant temperature. Now, to build a hibernaculum, you basically just kind of dig a big hole, and then you fill that hole with stuff like rocks, broken up rocks, bits of tile, or maybe some old bits of wood, things like that. And what you're doing is you're creating a kind of a whole network of little nooks and crannies which those creatures, the reptiles, the amphibians, can go down there and spend their time. Now, by being underground, what it does is it allows it to stay at a more constant temperature, because certainly around here, yes, there'll be frost on the top of the surface, but down below it's going to stay much more constant. You then create some entrances to allow them to get in there, in and out, obviously, and that's pretty much the deal. So I'm going to show you some pictures of when I dug this out in the summer, because obviously I haven't been doing it now. That'd probably be a bad idea, particularly with the ground being so hard. But then you can see how it works together. The other thing that I'd say about hibernaculum is, yes, check out my photos and what I've done, but also have a look at a few different ways of doing it. Now that you know the word, you can look it up online, and you'll see that different people make them in slightly different ways. And what I did is, by looking at 3 or 4 different videos, I kind of made a bit of a hybrid that seemed to me to work the best with what I was trying to achieve here in my garden. So now you've had a look at some of the pictures of it being built, I'm just going to go over there, I'm going to pick up the camera, and I'm going to give you a little tour in closer detail as to how it worked out, okay? Okay, so let's have a closer look at this hibernaculum now. Got a number of entrances going on. There's one under here, it's quite hard to see because it's a bit too dark, but basically over here, whoop, in there, I've made it so there's a tube going down, and there's also some gaps in the rock. You won't be able to see it, but I've got another entrance round there on the side. Let's go round this side. Behind the water feature, I've deliberately left it open as well, and you'll probably actually be able to see this one, which would be quite good. Can we see it? Oh, let's try and get in there close. Oh, there it is. Boom. Sorry, slightly dodgy angle. But yes, you can see that was in there. And like I say, behind the back as well. So we've made sure that there's plenty of ways for the creatures to get in and out. Hopefully we've got some residents going on in the hotel at the moment. A couple of things that I forgot to mention earlier is that obviously the reason it is a mound is because that earth that you've dug out when you're making it in the first place gets put back on top, and that mound helps with the insulation as well. Then the other thing you will have noticed when we took a little tour a minute ago, that you saw the entrance, which was basically a drain pipe, and what I've done is I've got different drain pipes going into it. I've tried to make sure that they're not too steep an angle, but also you will have noticed there was a bit of wood inside it, and that is to give the creatures something to grip onto if they're trying to get in or out. I've also sort of roughed up the inside of the drain pipe, and that, like I said before, was kind of a hybrid of a few different methods that I saw. In this front drain pipe that I've done, it's a much shallower angle, and as well as putting the drain pipe in, I've kind of laid the rocks along the side, so there's kind of like a natural little cave tunnel that runs down and brings it in, and yeah, so they can access in and out. Anyway, now that you know the word, go and impress your friends with its you know, general wonderfulness, and consider about making a hibernaculum in your garden so that next winter there'll be a nice cozy place for those frogs, toads and other things to take a little rest. Thanks very much, and if you happen to make one, why not put a picture on the Langdyke Facebook page. Cheers.